Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel for another video. Today I'm sitting down to share with you guys a little bit of a reflection on college dual enrollment in high school and whether I would recommend it or do it again after my oldest daughter completed a year of being dual enrolled with Grand Canyon University. I already made a video talking about tips that I wish someone would have told me. And I filmed that video kind of at the beginning of her being dual enrolled. And so now that an entire homeschool year has wrapped up, she was dual enrolled for her junior year of high school. I thought that I would sit down and share my thoughts with you guys because, like I said, a lot of those tips that I gave in that initial video, they still remain true, but now that I have a bit of experience and wisdom, I thought I would pass that along to you guys. So let's recap a little bit just in case you're not familiar. A lot of colleges now have dual enrollment options for high school juniors and seniors most commonly. There are some exceptions where different colleges will make an exception and allow a sophomore or a 15 to 16-year-old to dual enroll, but mostly it is for high school juniors and seniors. So ages 16 plus in general. These are generalities. How did I find out about dual enrollment for my oldest daughter? By simply Googling it. So I recommend that for you guys as well. And choosing an option that makes sense for your child. So I already said she was dual enrolled at Grand Canyon University, which they are located in Arizona. They have a very strong online program. They even have completely online degree programs for different bachelor's degrees and even beyond that. So they're a school that has a lot invested in their online degree programs, but that wasn't the reason why we chose it. We actually chose Grand Canyon University for really two reasons. The first reason was the fact that it is a Division I school, which means in general, again, that any credits that she would obtain there will be most likely to transfer even if she were to go to a smaller school. Smaller schools like Division III schools or like a junior college or something like that, those credits sometimes do not transfer to bigger schools. So it's always better to do bigger in case there's a transfer to a smaller school, especially because she is just in high school, and so a lot of the details for her future still remain to be determined, but that made a lot of sense. It also made sense because geographically we are on the West Coast, so if she were to want to attend in person, that would be an actual feasible option for her. She has since decided to not do that, and I filmed a video on the membership side of my channel with her about why she decided that. The other reason is why she chose Grand Canyon University and why we chose that for her is because they have a very strong nursing program. So she is currently interested in pursuing that for her future, and so it makes sense to choose a school that has a strong nursing program. Even if she were to change her mind, still at that point it made the most sense. We wouldn't want to start dual enrollment at a school that doesn't have a nursing program because that's kind of what she's wanting to work toward. There were other reasons why we chose Grand Canyon University, but those were kind of the big ones. Dual enrollment, as it sounds, means that they're earning high school credit and college credit simultaneously. So depending on where your child enrolls or where you want to enroll your child, the requirements for that will vary. For us, it was very simple and straightforward. There was an application, there were some online placement tests for the classes she wanted to get into, and there was a submission of her transcript, which as a homeschooling mom, I created for her. After that, the dual enrollment counselor she was assigned let me know that she was accepted. That was about 2 weeks or so, and we were able to choose her start date. Now, different schools do this differently, but Grand Canyon University, since they're such a large school, they have classes that start every Sunday, mostly. So, you can really choose the start date for the class that works the best for the schedule. For example, if we were going to be going on a trip for 2 weeks, I wouldn't sign her up for a class that was going to overlap with that trip, because that would make it impossible for her to complete the work if we were traveling and out of town and not having Wi-Fi, since the classes she was taking were all online. So it made it really easy to schedule. When she started with Grand Canyon University for dual enrollment, we chose to start with one class, and I am glad that we did that. I think starting with any more than that would be very overwhelming for a child, and so I do recommend starting with one class so they can really focus on it and give it their all, and then from there determining how many classes they want to take at one time. So she started with an English class because she didn't have any more high school English classes to do. She had done all of the Good and the Beautiful, so it made sense for her to go right into that high school or that college English class, a prerequisite English 105, and get it out of the way. So that's what she started with. And in hindsight, with Grand Canyon University, I wish she would have taken a class called University Success. University Success is specific to Grand Canyon University, but it's basically a class that shows your child how to operate the online portal for their class. It talks about time management, even though she knew most of that, still helpful to see like how they structure the weeks, what the discussion questions entailed, what the criteria was for citing sources, how to navigate the online library. All those things were in the University Success class that we didn't know about. I don't know why our dual enrollment counselor didn't recommend that she start with that, but it would have really made the first class so much easier for my daughter and me, because my daughter obviously coming to me with questions, I couldn't help her. I mean, I did help her, but it would have been easier if she would have taken that class. So many of those initial obstacles that she was facing with finding things and how to tell if it's been submitted and all that stuff would have been solved if we would have known about the University Success class, and she would have taken that first. That class is a required class for the nursing degree, so I don't know why our counselor didn't tell us about that. Like, start with University Success and then go on to English 105. Maybe it was because we just requested information for English, but I'm telling you guys, if any of you use Grand Canyon University for dual enrollment, make sure that you get into that University Success class. I think it's like University Success 103 or something like that. And that class is actually a required class, like I said, for the nursing degree program, but that is also a required class for a lot of other degrees, if not all of them. And if your child were to move to Arizona and attend in person, that class would be one of the classes that they took their very first semester of their freshman year of college. So it's a class that they have to take. So anyways, we didn't know that, but I'm giving you guys that tip. If wherever you dual enroll, ask if they have a class that teaches your child how to use their portal, their system, all that stuff. We didn't know that. So she started with English 105, and straight from there, she went to English 106. From there, she went to psychology. I think it was like 102, the intro level psychology. And then she finished her junior year with that University Success class. So she took 4 classes through Grand Canyon University, which was a total of 16 credits, all of which will be required for the nursing degree program if that is where she continues to move forward with. So that's important too. You can request a course scope to see, hypothetically, even if your child changes what degree they want to get in the future, I would recommend requesting that, so that way the classes you're paying for dual enrollment, you're not just frivolously wasting money. They're actually classes that they would need to do anyway. And so you're able to kind of give them a major head start with that, both financially and time-wise. So that was what she did, and she only did one at a time. She was never doing 2 classes at once, and I'm glad for that. I think that would have been a little overwhelming this year for her as she figured it out. However, next year for her senior year, she will be taking more than one at a time. So that's a little bit about that. Grand Canyon University's classes ran 7 weeks, so the class length was the class was complete in 7 weeks' time, because you were required to basically attend. Even though you're online, they have ways of making sure you're participating in 5 days. So, you know, traditionally, if you were in an on-campus environment, you might go to your class 1 or 2 times a week. But since you're expected to be in your class basically daily with Grand Canyon University, you're able to condense the work down, and you're able to complete it a lot faster. So the classes were 7 weeks in length. And overall, she had a really good experience. So I would recommend dual enrollment for children who are most likely going to move into a higher education setting, whatever that might look like. I would recommend it. I think that it is very, very wise financially and time-wise for them to get some college credits under their belt. But again, not just like frivolous classes. You know, most degrees require very similar prerequisites with English and math and things like that. And so those are all great classes to get out of the way while your child is still at home and able to slowly ease into a more independent, like learning on their own and managing their time a little bit better, and us as the homeschooling moms taking more of a hands-off approach. I think homeschooling prepared her really, really well for that, specifically with a lot of the curriculum and materials I had chosen previously, as far as BJU and the Good and the Beautiful and all those things. She was already kind of doing things in the same way, although there were a few late nights where she was writing a paper and, you know, going later into the evening. For the most part, she was able to manage her classes during what would be our normal school day. So we had a really good experience. I know she enjoyed it, and it was really rewarding for me to see her succeeding. She got A's in all of those classes, and the professors were, for the most part, very accommodating with, you know, questions that she might have that you send via message, and the expectations were clearly laid out. And so overall, it was a positive experience, and I would recommend it. She is going to continue with that next year. Of course, you know, there's a lot of colleges that offer this, so choose one that makes sense. Grand Canyon University was once a very small, probably more theologically and doctrinally sound college. If she was interested in anything theology or anything that was more, I don't know, faith-based, I would probably choose a different college for her, simply because they've really grown a lot, and as they've grown, I feel like the faith components have become more spiritual components. Although it'll still say God, it really isn't necessarily the first priority. So for other kids of mine who might have an interest in doing something with studying theology, or even like writing or anything like that, I might choose something different for them, just because that is not the focus of Grand Canyon University anymore. Although in the classes she took, there was nothing necessarily antagonistic towards it. It was more like neutrality. So like, we're gonna say we're a Christian college because we were, but now we're more like founded on Christian beliefs, and now we're like very accommodating and accepting of lots of different things, but we're also not gonna like throw that in your face everywhere you look. So it's an interesting dynamic, but again, being an online student is very different than the campus environment, and we did go to the campus as well, and I felt those same kind of things. So that all is just personal opinion as a mom. Take it with a grain of salt, but overall the dual enrollment experience was a positive one, and it's one that I feel is setting her up for success in her future and saving her time and money. So just one of the ways that homeschooling is a blessing, and you can really, really customize your kids' education and help them get ahead in young adult life. So I hope this video was helpful to you. I'm sure you have questions. If you do, leave them down below and I'll do my best to get back to you guys. I always encourage moms who homeschool to do their own research. So some of the questions you might have can be found for you simply Googling that or going to a specific college and their admissions. I don't know all of them. We looked at a few different ones, but Google is very, very helpful. That is actually how I came across it. So all that to be said, I hope this video was helpful. Give me a thumbs up if you found it helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye.